Now it looks like I do.
Okay.
Maybe.
Next 10 or 15 minutes, he's facing a yellow card for sure.
And as we mentioned, a dangerous situation here for the home team. All players looking directly into the sun at that end. And a low cross, it's knocked out of there by the Cranes. But another corner kick now coming for St. Louis. Slow start so far here at Rock Chalk Park, 6.5 minutes in. No shots on goal and the corner kick coming. Justin Stinson will do the honors for the Lions. And a high one. Far side, that one headed away by Caw Valley. Maybe not. Cal Valley actually will get it, so I guess it last touched a St. Louis Lions. So good news now for Ishban Urbani's team.
A bit of a fortunate decision given there from the referee, just relieve a little bit of that pressure. 2 or 3 straight minutes played down in that end of the field. Cal Valley FC kind of pinned inside their own half. Emergency defending going on. The set pieces running back towards their own box. The second corner kick, free kick there, dealt with very, very well. But you'd like to see them build out of the back just a little bit more. Give that defense, those defensive midfielders, a little bit of a rest.
And a quick whistle on Ali Sodal. Got there just a little bit late. And Cal Valley will retain possession as he goes right after Ryan Kellogg. So a chance now for Cal Valley FC to hopefully advance things down at least to the offensive end. We haven't seen many touches yet, Andy, down at this end.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how the difference at center forward is going to play out tonight. Eric McWood's very much a speedy guy looking to get in behind the defense. We've got Alex Durbin out here, number 20, right in front of us. A much bigger body, a target man, somebody that you're probably going to see a few long balls hit up to. Look to get Tucker Stevenson, Miguel Yuste, even Adrian Gutierrez coming down and collecting some of those second balls after the header, the chest of Durbin. I would imagine we see them play just a little bit more direct up to him as a different choice of the center forward tonight.
I just mentioned the name of Tucker Stevenson. I don't know that I've mentioned him outside of the opening lineup, and that's not good news. Cal Valley FC, if you're attacking that guy, we're going to hear his name and see number 22 a lot. And a chance there, just thwarted. Daniel Kozma back there, can't get a head on it. Nice ball there, though, and Cal Valley now suddenly on the attack.
Just a sensational first touch from Miguel. You stay there on the right side to collect that out of the air, kind of off balance with the defender right in front of him, not only to collect the ball and keep possession, but to then set up the next touch and be able to play that pass forward. I know it wasn't completed, but that's just a little sign of quality, a really, really good technical and smart player. And he was the difference last week when he came on at halftime, down 2-0 to the Des Moines Menace. He completely changed the game for this Cal Valley FC team. He's playing a different position now tonight out there kind of on the wing. He's going to look to tuck inside and play some of those through balls, whether it's to Durbin through the middle or Stevenson making the runs on the backside, just changing the direction of attack, the starting point with him out wide.
St. Louis on the run. Sodal with it on the right side. Takes his time, a couple of touches, sends one in front of the net. That one knocked away by Cal Valley. So again, more action so far for St. Louis by a lot here early in this match. Only 4 games played so far this season for St. Louis. At 1-2-1, 6 games, of course, for the Cranes. So Lions with a couple of games in hand, at least as we move forward in the Heartland Division in league play, which makes it all the more important that you can pick up 3 points tonight. Win one tonight, you feel like you put a little space in between yourself and this team. Right now in 3rd place. Brand new franchise. You feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, there's always going to be the bumps in the road, the stumbling blocks along the way, especially with a young team, but then you throw in the fact that it's a brand new team coming together for just the first time. A lot of these players obviously will have some familiarity and past relationships, playing in the Sporting Kansas City Academy, playing on college teams, playing against one another on their college teams. But it is a process, and I think things came together a little bit quicker in the home opener a couple weeks ago against Winnipeg than we would have expected, and ever since then come up against slightly better competition.
Sodal makes a run to the net, but Restrepo is right there, and see if Tucker Stevenson can get things started. And Andy, I see you're cranking along, say let's go, let's pick up the pace. There's not been much urgency so far from the Cranes.
No, and that looked there to me an opportunity missed. You get the quick throw out of the back, and Tucker Stevenson, I realize he's got a defender that's closing in quickly, but it's the next player that's got to really pick up the pace there. Jack Freeman playing at left back. He's got to be looking forward with that next pass, not to collect and then get his eyes up and scan the entire field. It's got to be direct. It's got to be a little bit quicker. There was space here on this left side of attack in behind the right back. They could have really got it, I feel like, and at least put them under a little bit of pressure. Maybe you don't create a chance, maybe you don't create a goal, but you show a little bit of intent and you get out on the counter a little bit quicker.
Long ball to Ryan Kellogg's out of his reach, so back comes St. Louis. Couple of soft touches, Sodal sends one in front. Could be trouble here. First shot on goal, it's just a dribbler. But Vadim Kochakov Finally gets one off, and it's saved by Restrepo.
That's what the counter should look like right there. They got it out very, very quickly down the left side. A couple of one-touch passes, not dwelling on the ball, not taking too much time to make your decision. It's got to come. It's got to come naturally. You've got to have that instinct and trust that the idea is the right one. Trust that the pass is going to be on target. And that was fluid. That was very free-flowing from St. Louis, and a bit of a worrying sign if you're Call Valley FC.
Gutierrez can't handle it near midfield. And the Lions once again in control, in possession. We'll send one into the corner. Race for the ball. Logan Lucas trying to get there for Call Valley. He gets it first, but cannot keep it in play. Closing out minute 13 here at Rock Chalk Park. First half, no score. A little touch there in front. Restrepo comes out and he'll grab it. And again, Call Valley taking its time. Long throw to Jack Freeman. He'll try to get things started. And finally, a touch for Tucker Stevenson, and that's a good thing. Here comes Gutierrez. Keeps it alive. Freeman now in the corner. Sends one in. Durbin trying to get there. Sends it across a little late. Great opportunity for Call Valley. Hindsight, Durbin may have wished he'd just taken that shot.
I would imagine if it's on his right foot, he's taking that opportunity, not trusting the left foot to put it on target, to put it where he wants it, tries to cut it back. It's not the worst idea in the world, but if you're going to play that, you've got to pick out the guy. You can't just play it into space and hope that he gets there, but that's really nice, quick movement, 1-2 combination right here in front of us between Tucker Stevenson and Adrian Gutierrez. That's what you need to see more of, quick, decisive attacking play, not taking that time on the ball. And they cut them up. They absolutely sliced them to pieces on that little combination move. And the ball forward into the box for Alex Durbin was first time. It has to be that quick every single time. If you do, I don't care who you're playing against at this level, you will create chances. You will find your way into the penalty area, and you will have success. You will find goals.
Last 2 weeks, at least here on Friday nights, that's been Eric McWoods. But not in the starting lineup tonight. Again, we mentioned that they have injured his hand last week. In the Friday night game, he's got a brace on that hand. You see him there on the far left. Still in the substitution list tonight, so we might see him. But it's one of the couple of changes, at least in the starting lineup tonight for Ishvan Urbani. He hasn't made many. The 3 games we've seen, it's been very similar. Trouble here and a quick goal, and that's Ali Seidel right in front. St. Louis strikes first. It's a 1-0 game.
Just a complete lack of pressure from Call Valley FC along the back line, out wide. Ryan Kellogg not getting out to his man wide to close down, to put the crosser under pressure. He's able to take his time inside, deep inside the final third of the field, pick out the player that he's trying to hit, and then a missed clearance there from Santiago Sierra, and just a really, really easy tap in for Ali Soldal, a player of his caliber, the number of goals that he's scored in the college ranks and for the St. Louis Lions over the last handful of years. That's an absolute gift on a silver platter for him. There's just not the kind of energy that I think you would expect from this Call Valley FC team, not the energy that we've seen the first couple of games, and not the energy that Ishvan Urbani is going to be happy to discuss at halftime.
First shot of the game, really, for Call Valley. That one just high. Josh Baker had the assist at the opposite end. And the finish from Ali Sodal, and well, that lead almost lasted about 15 seconds.
Very, very ambitious from Miguel Yuste there. Not far off. Not the worst idea in the world. You've got the goalkeeper out off his line. You've got that little bit of space. You have to think that if he gets his body a little bit more balanced and able to wrap his foot around it, that's probably on target.
Great ball into the corner. Christopher Bagni gets to it first, trying to maintain it. Can't do it. Taken away. Nick Jackson. But Call Valley now will reset with a throw-in. Trailing 1-0. Sodal's goal in the 16th minute. No shots on goal so far in this one for the home team. Just one for the visitors. Durbin maybe turns the wrong direction. Stevenson sent one through, and then a battle for the ball. It's going to be a throw-in or a corner. And it will be a throw in for Kaw Valley FC. Oh, so close to being a corner kick down there. Gutierrez controls with the left foot. Tucker Stevenson now in position. He fires right at Aaron Kunda.
From the second Gutierrez played that ball and you look up and you see who it's going to, you see it's Tucker Stevenson, you know he's letting that roll on past him, let the ball do the work, and he's going to try and wrap his right foot around it the way that he's done in the last 2 home games, scored in both of those games. Very, very similar spot, very similar opportunity, very similar way, just not quite able to get it as far to the far post on that one as he's done the last couple games. Aaron Kunda, a pretty easy save in the end, but encouraging signs once again from Kaw Valley.
It was right at him, but it was struck hard. We've seen a couple of at least solid shots now from Kaw Valley FC. See if the Cranes can keep the pressure on. Stevenson to Durbin. And then a trip from behind, a frustrated Durbin, knocking Josh Baker to the ground. Little life now, at least from the Cranes, since that goal from Ali Sodal. And another push here from behind from Kaw Valley FC. I think that's on Christopher Bagni. I feel like I've had a lot of whistles tonight compared to last week. Just me, or is that fact?
No, it's definitely not just you, and then that's going to really favor St. Louis. Not only the fact that they are the road team, and you typically want a little bit choppier, uglier sort of game when you're away from home,
and once you have the lead.
But the fact that they've got that 1-0 lead, it's going to really make a 90-minute game feel like 75 or 70 minutes. It's going to run by a little bit quicker if they're able to hold on to the 1-0 scoreline as it is, or if they're able to add another goal. And if you're Kaw Valley FC, that's the last thing you want to see.
Lions again on the attack, out wide to Hundelt, who sends one across. Great looking Sodal there by himself again. He's frustrated, had a chance to make this a 2-0 game. I saw a lot of green and white stripes down there, and Andy, I didn't see much light blue.
Yeah, it didn't look too dissimilar to the goal that was scored by St. Louis just a handful of minutes ago. Not much pressure out wide from Jack Freeman, and when you don't pressure, you don't put pressure on that crosser, he's able to take time, pick out his guy. The quality of ball is going to be so much better, and then you don't get back as the center backs, and you don't mark somebody up at the near post or the back post. Very, very fortunate, and I would even go as far as to say lucky to not be down 2-0.
Gutierrez trying to send it into Durbin again, just touched away, and there's a trip right in front of the official, and that's good news for Gutierrez. He goes down. Josh Baker gets whistled, and this should be a great opportunity for the home team. Can't do that.
No,
and he knew it right away.
No, you absolutely
best part is Stinson. He may have called the foul on himself before the official even called it.
There's a handful of pretty good set piece takers on this team. We've seen Stevenson with the kind of the powerful blast. Obviously, Christopher Bagni here if he's just going to float it in. You've got Miguel Yuste, a very finesse player. Yep, and it is going to be Stevenson there and off the scoreboard, of course. But to have different options for those different situations there, I think that one's probably a little bit further out than you want to see somebody going for goal between 30 and 35 yards out. It's really, really ambitious, and you've got to almost at that point hope for a gigantic mistake from the goalkeeper. At the very worst, put it down on the ground 5 yards in front of goal, make it bounce up just a little bit, give the keeper something a little bit more difficult to deal with. When you hit it 10 yards up and over the goal, that's the easiest play in the world for a goalkeeper to make.
You made the comment off the scoreboard. They don't get that too much in soccer, do we? We had a home run from the Free State softball team to win a state championship off the scoreboard a couple of weeks ago, but I think that might have been the last time that we mentioned it. Officials tonight, Devin Blazek, Mitchell Parkhill, Philip Gomez, and Brendan Sweetman. And so far, they've been busy tonight. Bought the whistle, might as well use it, right? 1-0 our score. Lions with a goal in the 16th minute from Ali Sodal. Kaw Valley trying to play some catch-up here in the last 5 or 6 minutes, and finally some life from this team. We've seen a couple of decent shots. You certainly don't need that guy to go down and stay down. Tucker Stevenson, kid from Overland Park, Kansas, playing collegiately at Loyola Chicago. Leads the team in scoring. We've seen him have a couple of fantastic goals last couple of weeks. And they're going to need at least one from him tonight if this team wants to draw even. Get one from somebody. And a little mishandle there by St. Louis. Maybe a break for Kaw Valley FC.
I'm just watching Miguel Yuste the last couple of minutes here and the different positions he's taking up on the field. He's moved a little bit more centrally. Obviously, we talked earlier, he started on the left with Gutierrez in the middle. It looks like Gutierrez has shifted out wide just a little bit, and I think that's a very, very smart switch for this team. We saw the difference last week against Des Moines when Miguel Yuste was on the field and when he was not on the field. And when he came on, there was a sense of control from this Kaw Valley FC team. Possession with intent was the phrase that I used then, and I think that's exactly what we need to see from them right now to kind of dig themselves not only out of the hole on the scoreboard, but get a hold of this game and find their footing, because the first 15 or so minutes, they did not have it.
Tucker Stevenson trying to create some space for himself. Kaw Valley FC, though, keeps it in. Andy bobbing his head. He likes what he sees. There's a cross. Stevenson gets his head on it, but it goes just wide.
No, you switch the field of play very, very quickly there, and you make the defense react and rotate. Multiple guys have to move in unison. They have to be in sync as they're rotating defensively, and that's very, very difficult. That is how you open teams up. That's how you get one guy to make a mistake, a yard off of his rotation, and that opens up a ton of space for an attacker like a Tucker Stevenson or a Miguel Yuste to get in and exploit. And that right there, the best opportunity of the night so far from Kaw Valley FC, with all due respect to Tucker Stevenson, shot there to get Alex Durbin in the air with a cross coming in 12 yards out. That's a great opportunity.
Maybe another chance here. Durbin onside. Can he get a foot on it? The answer is no. Aaron Kunda gets there in time and scoops it up just before Durbin can get there.
That's exactly what I was talking about earlier, though. You play a little bit more direct to Durbin up top as opposed to when Eric McWoods is starting at center forward. He's able to get in behind, doesn't even have to win the ball out of the air. And if that first touch, I think, is a little bit tighter, I think he's got an opportunity to put a shot on target. Now, obviously, it's going to be on his left foot again, and we saw that he's a little bit hesitant to use that. But that, again, another very, very encouraging sign, and it's all happened since this guy right here, the number 8, Miguel Yuste, has gone central.
And Durbin getting just thrown to the ground by Floris Blom. But Kaw Valley cranking up this pace now just a little bit.
Miguel Yuste wants to go. That free kick one there inside the center circle, doesn't wait to put a hand on it to settle it, doesn't wait for the referee to tell him to go, just goes. The ball is there, it's stopped, he's able to restart the game, and boom, the ball is out wide. That's the kind of quick pace that Isfan Urbani there is going to love seeing from his central midfield. And I think that Miguel Yuste is really making a case that he should be the player in the middle of the field that this entire team is built around, that it evolves around, that it revolves around, because of the style, the possession that he brings to this team. It's so important.
And a quick whistle here, and that's going to be as you shake your head on Daniel Kozma. What do you see, or what did you see that you didn't like?
I saw a foul there, and then I saw a foul after the foul. And I mean, there's tackles, challenges, sliding tackles coming in from every direction right now, and nothing dirty, nothing malicious between either of these two teams, any of the players on the field. It's just a very committed couple of teams. They're not afraid to go into a 50-50 or even a 40-60 when they're not favored and think that they're going to come out on top. It is enjoyable to watch. You hope that it remains in that sporting way, and there's no injuries that result from it.
Quick shot try there from Justin Stinson, defended nicely from Kaw Valley. So Dahl out, try to corral it for the Lions. Instead, Cranes come away with it. And a chance there in the midfield. Here comes Yuste right at midfield. Tucker Stevenson with time, a few touches to himself. Can he keep it alive or make a move? Momentarily, no, but Kaw Valley keeps it in for just a second. And finally, a chance for Nick Jackson to unload one. And Restrepo out to Kellogg. Kellogg trying to make a couple of moves. Nobody there. as he goes down, and that will be a whistle on, I believe, St. Louis. Ryan Kellogg a little slow to get up. The kid from West Virginia. Originally lives and grew up in Parkville, Missouri, just down the street, with 19 starts a year ago for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, these last 10 minutes from Caw Valley FC have been exactly not only the way you want to play, but the response after giving up a goal, going a goal down at home. The pace of play is just so much quicker. We even saw it there with Santiago Restrepo playing it out of the back, getting it out wide to Ryan Kellogg with his second touch, not taking the time to look up. And then Kellogg is able to cut inside because everybody doesn't rotate as quick defensively in that situation. It just starts the series of dominoes where a team is not set defensively where they want to be.
Well, another turnover on Cal Valley FC, and here comes Seven Garcia. Garcia keeps it on his foot, still on his foot. Garcia trying to send one across to Vadim Kochakov. It's deflected away, and then Kochakov trying to get it again. Here comes Hundelt out wide. He's had a lot of open lanes out here on the right side. Stay on his back. This one floating in off the crossbar and finished in and good. Not going to count, though, will it, Andy?
Don't believe so. I think when the cross that turned into a shot that came from Hundelt on the right side there gets saved and pushed up onto the crossbar, that's going to then, you would assume, and we don't have the best angle here, but Kochakov going to be. That looks tight. That looks really, 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 really tight to me, because you've got the goalkeeper kind of falling back into his own goal, and then you've got one defender, I believe Daniel Kozma there, that is also there, looks to be behind Vadim Kochakov. That might be a little bit of hard luck for St. Louis on that one.
Here comes Dermott on the run after falling down, gets back up. Back to Gutierrez. From long range, tries to tap it in with the left foot, deflected away. Now sent wide to Tucker Stevenson. Can he corral it? Eventually, yes. That ball finally out of bounds. Off of St. Louis. Last touch by Dylan Hundelt. Good news, though. Caw Valley FC retains possession here. Urbani to Stevenson, trying to turn the corner. Fires from long range. We saw a shot from about that same spot, Andy, last week. We kind of wondered about it. Then he scored one from there, and obviously one of his favorite spots.
Shoot or shoot, I think, is the phrase that they use these days. And you know, obviously you can't score if you don't shoot. But I think in that situation there, you want to work possession just a little bit more. I think you can find a much better shot. You can have that shot at any point in time on the game. Very similar to basketball. You can get a fadeaway three anytime during the shot clock. If you got to wait until 1 second on the clock, you don't have to take that shot with 20 seconds left on the shot clock. I just think a little bit more patience and looking to break open St. Louis is going to be the better way forward.
Now some words here as Josh Baker. Did he just take a fall, or was that a legitimate foul? Let's see. Trying to control it.
Yeah, a little clip on the back of the foot. I don't think it's clearly, again, nothing malicious or anything. He's got his foot planted, though, and it clearly impedes him from going after that ball. It's a foul, but for the first time, we see a little bit of the extracurriculars start afterwards. Not quite any pushing or shoving, but some discussions. Shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that. So we'll have to keep an eye on how that progresses over the game.
Baker with a long floater right towards the goal. Last touched by, I believe, Caw Valley FC. Corner kick coming for the St. Louis Lions. And minute 32 right now, Andy, and things a little bit chippy. Mentioned the 6 yellow cards from St. Louis the last time these two teams met. We expected this type of physical game, especially after the Lions struck first. 16th minute, Ali Sodal, and really unchallenged when he scored. A frustrating goal to give up for Ishvan Urbani and the Cranes. A lot of bodies inside that small goalie box as this one sails out of play. We'll wait for Santiago Restrepo to put it back in play. About 13 minutes away from halftime. Each team with one shot on goal. The one, however, for the Lions went into the back of the net. Stevenson trying to post up there near midfield. And Caw Valley, a couple touches. Gutierrez winning the battle of the ball, then got a quick whistle. So a chance here for Caw Valley to put the ball in play. Unimpeded. You're already pointing to the far side of the field. Wish we could get a camera on Andy over here. He's calling out. I mean, feel like he should be coaching from up here. Like other side, near side, move forward faster. And a good look here. Nice chance for Jack Freeman. Kid from KC Mo. Back to Tucker Stevenson. Can't quite control it, then gets it back. Cranes, I feel like they've been a little loose down here at this offensive end. A little frustration maybe starting to set in just a little bit. There have not been very many solid chances. Just maybe some wild kicks toward the goal, but nothing really set up.
Yeah, this is a really, really disciplined St. Louis team, though, and you can see it over these first 33 minutes tonight that they get back and they defend in numbers. They defend in units as well, and that's something that's so important. It's not just one-on-one defending, but when someone gets out wide, they've got the fullback there, and they've got a midfielder that's shading over. They've got a winger that's coming all the way back to put in his defensive shift, and it's never one-on-one defending, which is where defenders never want to find themselves, and that's just made it really difficult, I think, to connect, let alone 2 or 3 passes, but that first pass into the final third for Caw Valley.
So Restrepo puts it down, sends one long. Durbin there, gets a head on it, and momentarily keeps control for Caw Valley FC, and here we go. Maybe a chance. Freeman with a wide. Stevenson running behind him. Back inside. Eustace's got it, turns the corner. Urbani's back there with him. They'll get it back to Logan Lucas. And now you're shaking your head. Yes, you like what you see here. Back to Gutierrez. Some fancy footwork here back inside. Eustace turns, tries to find someone, then gets a beneficial whistle.
It's very enjoyable to watch Miguel Yuste and Adrian Gutierrez get on the ball and connect passes to one another. The quick feet, as you mentioned there, a little bit of trickery. The pirouettes in tight areas you can get yourself into. You can walk yourself into a cul-de-sac. But if you can move as quickly as they did there, you can spin yourself out of it, and you can find that outlet to not only retain possession but continue to advance the ball upfield. You win another set piece here in a dangerous area. And you notice Tucker Stevenson, one of the guys forward, not over this free kick.
And we'll see what options Caw Valley FC has here. Durbin with a quick question. And here's a kick on goal that's knocked down by that line. The wall was set up perfectly, and it did what it was supposed to do. Kozma kicks it out of play. So back come the St. Louis Lions, a 1-0 lead right now. Shots on goal, 1 apiece. Just the one save in this one. That one from Aaron Kunda. And that one was right at him. He didn't have to move. Keep an eye on this guy. Sodal has the only tally so far in this game. He's been around the ball a couple of times at this end. Look there at Santiago Sierra as he backs up. And then thinking by Ishvan Urbani. Tony Glavin, the head coach on the other side. He's originally from Scotland. Trying to get his team even with the Cranes tonight. Boy, a win on the road would get 7 points total for St. Louis, and really be a rough 3-game stretch if that happens for Caw Valley FC. So a chance here for Justin Stinson to put one in play as he sets up something for the Lions. This one in the center, and that one headed just wide of the goal. But just more chances so far for the visitors from the other side of the state of Missouri. And likely another good chance coming right here.
Yeah, they've proven they're very, very dangerous on these set pieces. They make smart runs. They make hard, committed runs, and we've not seen Kaw Valley FC really body up and take up the positions that they need to inside their own penalty area, and they've given up a number of opportunities.
Baker gets one in play, and one of his teammates gets a foot on it first. This ball still dangerously in play. Baker keeps it alive, finally poked out of there by the Cranes. Couple of bodies down now. It's Evan Garcia, the kid from Wisconsin Parkside. Strangely enough, he loves ramen noodles, right? I think you found that note a little earlier.
Credit to the team website for that one.
Probably use the bowl right now. Gets up limping just a bit.
Yeah, Ice Pack's going to be a very, very popular prescription after this game for both teams. The number of physical challenges that have come in, guys that we've seen on the ground taking a few seconds to recollect themselves and get back to their feet. Again, just two very, very committed teams playing a kind of a brash and tough-nosed style of soccer, and it's very, very enjoyable to watch through these first 38 minutes.
38-30 we have now played. St. Louis on top of Kaw Valley FC. It's 1-0. Just one single shot on goal so far from the Cranes, and it was right at Aaron Kunda playing goalie, so he didn't have to do much to save it. And no run chance here for Kaw Valley FC. That one a little sideways off the foot. Alex Durbin could not get there. Durbin getting the start tonight. He's a volleyball coach up at Dordt College as well. He played some soccer and then have a volleyball team there. Pretty athletic guy.
Plays two more collegiate sports than yours truly here ever did.
Well, then you and me combined. That's why we're up here talking about it. He's down there playing it. 15 total fouls so far in this one. Seems like a lot.
It is a lot.
To only 2 shots on goal.
And we're not going to see that pattern change as the second half gets near and this game starts to wind down, especially if it's still 1-0 St. Louis, or if they're able to find a second. They're really, as I said earlier, they're going to try and make this game as choppy and short as possible. When you have that many stoppages, you're not going to get all that time back in stoppage time, and that is one of the tried and true ways to see a game out when you've got a victory, especially when you're on the road. You're up against it just a little bit, and you've got to just find any way possible to get out with those 3 points.
Going to be a foul on Freeman as he knocks down Dylan Hundelt. Hundelt played collegiately at Ole Miss down in the SEC. Originally from St. Louis, Missouri, so some regional pride for him.
And it's not a surprise that a team from St. Louis is going to have a bunch of local kids and be a high-quality team. Either it is a soccer hotbed. It's one of the first soccer hotbeds that was really ever established in the U.S. The number of Italians and Bosnians and just Eastern Europeans in general that settled in the St. Louis area years ago. Some really, really quality players have come out of that area, whether MLS or for other international teams.
Urbani tries to float one in. Durbin. And Stevenson in the middle. Stevenson can't quite get there, and then a late whistle and a yellow card given to Stevenson. Was that for a little contact with the goalie?
Yeah, I think it was. He left his foot a little bit high, a little bit late, didn't quite get it back inside as quickly as the referee would have liked, and no problem with that call whatsoever. You've got to protect the referee. Very, very clearly, Aaron Kunda is going to be the one coming up with that ball, and Aaron Kunda saying that's the second time that he's done that tonight. So, yeah, you've got to protect the referee. I don't fault Tucker Stevenson, by the way, for making every, giving every effort to get to that one, but he was never going to get to that one.
And Stevenson taken down there by Hundelt, who didn't necessarily agree with that call, but Kaw Valley FC gets the benefit of that one. 3 minutes remaining in regulation in this first half. We'll have, of course, a little time added. But it's been a slow start. I mean, that slow start's been the difference so far for Kaw Valley FC. Tucker Stevenson gets the long cross from a teammate. Andy Edwards approves. Now Stevenson on the attack. He's into his favorite spot. Gives it up to Yuste. That one just tapped in. Kaw Valley wants a handball. That would have been a penalty kick. If we can see that one again, we can verify. But boy, a lot of bodies in between us, Andy, and them. But boy, several Kaw Valley FC players reacting immediately. And I'm not sure any of the officials or the referees were in position to make that call.
Yeah, we've not seen a ton of campaigning to the referee to try and get calls from the first handful of games here from this Kaw Valley FC team. It makes you think that if they're really going after the referee in that manner that they believe, and perhaps rightly so, that there was a bit of handling. Whether it was inside the box, outside the box is very, very difficult to say. As you said, a lot of bodies in the way, but that's a really nice worked opportunity by Miguel Yuste at the center of everything. The one playing that ball in, just a little bit more patience in that build-up from Kaw Valley FC, and not quite rewarded. Maybe they should have been.
As you mentioned, just a yard or two there makes a huge difference if there was a handball. May have been looking at the first penalty kick that we've seen here at Rock Chalk Park. Instead, it's a play on, and it's still 1-0. St. Louis on top. Urbani has it knocked away. Sodal now on the run. He's already scored one tonight. Leaves it wide. A chance now from Baker, back to Sodal, and still inside, and that one kicked away. And Kaw Valley FC survives another rush from St. Louis. Well, Baker and Sodal have been super active so far tonight for St. Louis. And Kaw Valley FC running out of time here to try to score in this first half, and there's going to be another foul. And maybe more than just a foul.
They don't get much more clear and obvious than that one right there.
And still some complaining, and I think that was the problem as Flores Blom kept going. Official didn't like it, so he called him over and said enough is enough. Here comes Yuste, trying to keep it on his foot. Instead, it's another turnover. And Yuste will sprint for a while with Greg McCrudden. And there's another yellow card, and this is starting to get a little ugly. Miguel Yuste picks up a yellow. That's the second yellow card for Kaw Valley FC in this game. And oh man, head coach Ishvan Urbani not happy now. He comes out right to the sideline.
We've got 20 fouls in the game now, and we're not even to halftime. It was chippy and it was competitive those first few minutes, but what we've seen is this game slowly begin to devolve just a little bit into, less going for the ball, a little bit more kicking guys on the other team, and the fact that it is only halftime, perhaps it's perfect timing that it's halftime. Get everybody inside, settle just a little bit, refocus some guys that might feel like they had been wronged on the other end of the field, and they take out a little bit of that frustration on the other end. Miguel Yuste, obviously a player who's going to suffer a lot of fouls, no fouls, being the kind of tricky technical player that he is, and when he doesn't get those protections from the referee the way that Aaron Kunda did a little bit earlier, sometimes you take matters into your own hands.
Urbani with control, trying to send one ahead to Tucker Stevenson. Hundelt there, sends it back to Aaron Kunda. 2 minutes of stoppage time will be added. Mostly for penalty delays and fouls in the first half, right?
Just the one goal. Other than that, not been a whole lot. But again, there have been 20 fouls in the first 45 minutes.
2 shots on goal, 3 corner kicks, and 20 fouls. It's about 1 every 2 minutes. 2:15.
Yeah, but typically when you get a game like that that's got that many fouls, it's a really ugly game, and there's not a lot of possession. There's not much passing. It's a lot of long balls in the air. It's not been that from these two teams. The idea and the principles are to play the ball on the ground and to play that progressive possession style of soccer. And we're seeing both of these teams do that. It's just being broken up and put into little chunks and pieces now as we have 21 fouls in the first half for both of these teams.
Keeps adding up. A chance maybe here, though, for Kaw Valley FC. Tucker Stevenson goes down hard, but this this spot appears to be in his wheelhouse. I'd be very surprised if he did not take this kick.
Yeah, I think the best indicator of the frustration level that both these teams are seeing is not just the fouls that are committed on the field, but it's then the reaction and the arguments with the referees after the fact, and we're seeing a lot more of that.
Look out on the quick kick. Tucker Stevenson fires and scores. Another goal for Tucker Stevenson, and we are tied.
That's just really, really smart soccer right there, taking that quick free kick. You don't have to take it right away. You don't have to let the referee walk back the 10 yards and set up the wall. If you do not request that, doesn't have to happen. And Christopher Bonny there with the awareness, the headiness, the smarts on the field, the understanding that the attention of St. Louis Lions players on the referee arguing. As I said, just moments before you take yourself out of the game mentally and you make a mistake like that then compounds and ends up in a goal. And those first 45, 46 minutes of great work from St. Louis, all out the window.
Absolutely all for naught. And the Prez and the Vice Prez right there to give a high five. And man, this entire first half completely changes in the final 20 seconds. A quick kickoff there from Christopher Bonny on the get things replayed in. And man, what a great play by Tucker Stevenson. And we mentioned earlier, he's the guy that scores, and he strikes first tonight for Caw Valley FC. We've played 45. It's halftime at Rock Chalk Park. We've got a great one. St. Louis and Caw Valley FC tied at 1. You're watching Caw Valley FC Soccer on Midcoast Sports Network. We'll be right back after this. Amazing how things change in a blink of an eye, and that is exactly what has happened tonight in the first half at Rock Chalk Park between St. Louis and Caw Valley. The Lions lead this thing for Andy 45 minutes plus. It was 2 extra minutes, so I guess in the 46th minute, St. Louis led 1-0 after a goal in the 16th from Ali Sodal, and then bang, just like that, Christopher Bonny and really Tucker Stevenson kind of lulled the Lions to sleep for just a minute, and it's just enough to get off a shot and score for the home team. Take a look at the halftime numbers, and they look pretty similar. More corner kicks for the Lions, shots on goal very even, saves very even, and, well, let's be honest, the fouls ultra even tonight.
Yeah, that's kind of the story of this first half. It got a little chippy. It got a little ugly at times. We saw a couple yellow cards late in the half, but that lead that St. Louis had for those first 45, 46, maybe even bordering on 47 minutes was deservedly so. They were the team on the front foot. They were the ones creating all the chances, getting the ball into those dangerous areas of the field. And Caw Valley FC, for a prolonged period of this game, just didn't have an answer. They could not only deal with it once they got into the final third, but they couldn't slow down that progress, and that was a bit of an issue. They found their footing just a little bit more, maybe in the final 5 or 10 minutes of the half, and they get just a very, very smart, heady play from Christopher Bonny to play the right ball, the perfect ball, perfectly weighted and placed into space, and then Tucker Stevenson, becoming the star of this team, takes it from there, knows exactly what to do with it, finds the back of the net. He's got 3 goals in 3 home games, 3 weeks in a row, and now, all of a sudden, what felt like a very, very deserved 1-0 lead for St. Louis, completely gone, out the window, even footing for the second half.
A lot of work for nothing. You fall asleep for literally 20 seconds, and bang, just like that, we are tied at 1. Nice crowd tonight at Rock Chalk Park, and the home crowd feeling good after that final 30 seconds of the first half. We have played 45 here at Rock Chalk Park. Call Valley FC and the St. Louis Lions. We are tied at 1. We're back to the field after this. Halftime at Rock Chalk Park, a tie game. It's 1-1. The St. Louis Lions strike first, then a lot of time passes, and then finally Caw Valley FC comes up with a goal in the final 30 seconds of the first half, and bang, just like that. A lot of work from the visitors, Tony Glavin's team, and it's all for naught. I got to believe if you're Ishvan Urbani, you're feeling pretty good after a very foul-filled first half here in West Lawrence. Take a look at the action from the first half, and in the 16th minute, Andy, this happened very fast.
Yeah, it did, and just a complete lack of pressure. Nobody is able to get out there and apply pressure out wide, and Ali Soldal just standing all alone, 6 yards out from goal, and anytime you get an opportunity from there, it has to find the back of the net. He did, and that just kind of set the tone, and that was a perfect indicator of how the first 15 or 20 minutes of this game was played.
Well, then for about the next 30 minutes, maybe some frustration from Caw Valley FC trying to answer and gets on the board. We mentioned it feels like maybe there was some more missed opportunities, but just a couple of shots on goal. Take a look at some of the chances anyway. Alex Durbin here, maybe one he wishes he had taken a shot on. We mentioned that a little bit earlier. And then a couple of chances here and there, but nothing major, and maybe that's one of the first kicks that Aaron Kunda talked about. Stevenson, he scored the goal. He's awfully active, and that's the one. Was that a handball?
It looked pretty close. We'll get a slower and a little bit closer look here, but it looked like it. I mean, that the arm is extended. It certainly, the direction of the ball changes there. I think that's got to be a handball. The referee probably not in the best position. He had a couple bodies in his way as well.
But bang, in the 46-plus, close to 47th minute of this one, that guy does it again. It's Tucker Stevenson. The quick start by Christoph Urbani caught everybody off guard. St. Louis was still lining up, but as you mentioned, if you're the offense, you ain't got to wait. You can wait and have the referee pull them off the line, but you don't have to. He saw an opening. Tucker Stevenson stayed on side, sneaks to the backside, and this is his side. He goes with the right foot, but we've seen it for the last 3 weeks. The left side of the field, the right foot, likes to curl it right on in.
Yeah, it's no surprise that the coach's son has the highest soccer IQ, the intelligence, the awareness spatially and of opponents and players on his team about the entire field, and he's the one that has that quick little restart and is able to find Tucker Stevenson. It's a great play to not only get onto that ball, but then turn the corner and get his body positioned for that shot inside the far post. It's a very, very, very tight angle, and Aaron Kunda is rushing out, closing down that angle. It's just a really great goal all the way around from Caw Valley FC, and to stick it out for the entire first half, not get their heads down for those final few seconds. They just want to get into the locker room for halftime and start the second half. 45 plus is what the half of soccer is, and they played every one of them, and they got their reward for it.
Difference in Ishvan Urbani's, well, how he's feeling right now, his demeanor, so to speak, heading into halftime. A lot different right now, right?
Yeah, I don't think it changes too much. I think that he's still going to demand a ton more from his team in the second half because of those first 15, 20, even 30 minutes of the first half. The energy just wasn't quite there. So I would expect to see a lot more of that in the second half.
Halftime at Rock Chalk Park, about 7 minutes away from getting things started in half number 2. Let's take a timeout. The home team strikes in the 47th minute of the first half, and that is the equalizer here at Rock Chalk Park. We'll get things started in just a minute. Just trying to stay awake over there.
As parents, nothing matters
keep
more
you.
than keeping our little ones healthy and safe. At Lawrence Memorial Hospital, we feel the same way. That's why we partner with Safe Kids Douglas County to provide free car seat safety inspections, because we know it's the little things that matter most. As your partner for lifelong health, we care for and about you and your family, encouraging safe and healthy decisions today and for a lifetime. Keep your family on the road to a healthy future at lmh.org/partner.
At Crown, we support the community and our Jayhawks. So we're very excited to help them.
Dr. Lennon and his staff provide. We work with most insurance plans and are open evenings and Saturdays for your convenience.
Let us give you the look you're looking for.
Dr. Kevin Lenahan and The Spectacle, providing you with the best eye care and eyewear anywhere.
You deserve the freedom to choose the healthcare providers you prefer. If you're tired of insurance companies making those decisions for you, come by Sigler Pharmacy today and find out how to get the care you want at a price you can afford. With 2 great locations at Dixon Folks Road and West 18th Street. Come and see us at Sigler Pharmacies today to find out how much you could be saving. Sigler Pharmacy, watching out for your health and your wallet.
Halftime at Rock Chalk Park, the Kaw Valley FC Cranes and the St. Louis Lions tied at 1. Ali Sodal and Tucker Stevenson with goals in the first 47 minutes for these two teams. And we are now at the start of this game. Andy, you wrote down a couple of things to think about as our keys to the game. Let's take a second look and decide if either of these teams have done anything that you talked about to get us to this 1-1 game so far.
Yeah, well, the main thing for me coming into this game for Kaw Valley FC, Stevenson and Durbin have to be connected. They've got to be playing 1-2s. We didn't see a ton of that in the first half, and I think that's where a lot of the problems creating chances stemmed from for this team in the first 45 and especially the first 30 minutes. It got a little bit more joined together there as the game went on and everything. They didn't do a great job of controlling the midfield, and I think that that's going to be something that's really going to frustrate Ishvan Urbani at halftime, because that is so much about what this team wants to do. They want to have possession. They want to be tough to play through, and that doesn't mean just possession, but they were very, very easy to play through because of how quickly St. Louis was able to counter and get into space. There was very little, if any, resistance in the middle third of the field, and that was shocking to see, frankly, in the first half hour or so, coming from a team that was so tough to play against and play through the first couple weeks here at Rock Chalk Park. St. Louis did a great job of being able to build the ball out of the back. We didn't see as much pressure all the way up the field from Kaw Valley FC as we saw in the first couple of games. Inversely, by the way, we saw a ton of pressure from St. Louis all the way up the field. They committed to it for the first few minutes, and typically you see teams do that on the road, and then they'll retreat just a little bit. They'll pull back in defensively and try and keep everything in front of them, but they kept it for the entire 30-45 minutes of the first half, which was very, very impressive coming from the St. Louis Lions team.
And those are the CarStar keys to the game. And as we mentioned earlier, all the numbers on the big board pretty even, including overall fouls, because who doesn't love a good foul? 21, Andy, in the first half. We knew this would be a physical game, and guess what? On our Pod's Discount Carpets halftime stats, it absolutely was.
Yeah, it was, and that made it a little bit choppy. There wasn't a ton of flow in the first half, but I think the thing that you want to see from Kaw Valley FC in the second half is a little bit more possession and patience. We didn't see very much patience, especially in the attacking half of the field. You're down 10 in basketball. You can't hit a 10-point shot to make up the entire deficit. It felt like Kaw Valley FC was trying to pull themselves back from behind and in front with one really ambitious, gigantic shot, and you just can't do that. You got to work those chances a little bit more.
Halftime at Rock Chalk Park. Let's take a timeout. When we come back, we'll get set for the final 45. Cranes and Lions tied at 1.
which is essentially how it was in the first half.
Back for half number 2 here at Rock Chalk Park. Kevin Romery, Andy Edwards with you. Our first substitution of the game. Adrian Gutierrez out for Ishfan Urbani. Meanwhile, Nick James, he will substitute in, and you expect many changes in that substitution for the Cranes.
Yeah, I think a little mini set of dominoes falling there. Miguel Yuste played a lot of that first half, tucked inside centrally, kind of as the number 10, and Gutierrez, who coincidentally wears the number 10, kind of faded out wide just a little bit and took up the spot that Yuste started the game. So I would imagine we see a lot more of that, and fairly a straight swap with Nick James coming in on the wing on the right side, and Yuste will stay centrally, which is where he can be so much more involved and linked with everything, and he can control this game going forward for Call Valley FC.
See if it puts any more pressure now on the Lions, who are on the attack here early. Justin Stinson on the run. Clean ball right in front. Leaves it behind. That one batted down. And another one poked away here in the opening minutes of half number 2.
But that's exactly what I was talking about at halftime there, the press from St. Louis Lions. I mean, Call Valley FC with the ball inside their defensive third. 6 guys in white and green shirts up there applying pressure, not just to the ball, but to possible outlets and to possible targets. You don't let a team play out of the back and you put them under pressure. They're going to eventually make mistakes. They're going to give you the ball back in a very, very dangerous part of the field. And Call Valley FC right there, very fortunate that deflected clearance goes out of bounds and it doesn't fall into the middle third of the field where St. Louis then have numbers and they're able to hit them on the counter.
A little wrestling match there for just a minute. Finally cleared out of there by Urbani. Feel like that St. Louis took the lead in the first 20 minutes because Call Valley maybe wasn't quite ready to play, and then on the other end, I kind of feel like the Lions let this game get tied because maybe they fell asleep for just a minute and just offside. Durbin, man, near midfield, started to take off as he released. The flag went up, and that one will come back.
Yeah, I think he was about a half yard offside. But to your point there, Call Valley FC took a while to wake up, and then I think you see St. Louis fall asleep there in the last couple of minutes.
They're trying to just get to the half.
Yeah, they absolutely were, and they felt the momentum start to turn just a little bit, and that they didn't quite have the same control that they had early on in the first half, and they were looking for that halftime whistle, and all it takes is that one split second and the frustration. Once again, all those fouls piled up, 21 in the first half. They were arguing with the referee when Christophe Urbani took that free kick very, very quickly and set into motion what ended up being the equalizing goal. Just a lack of a little bit of focus in those final seconds of the first half.
Lions on the attack, Evan Garcia. Couple of touches back to Josh Baker. He was really active in the first half. I feel like I said the names Baker and Sodal more than anyone for St. Louis, but a mistake here. And the speedy Miguel Yuste trying to send it ahead to Durbin, who can't quite get there. And the Lions will reset with Ellis Ashworth. Back to that Baker guy. 1-on-10. Here he comes.
You see the impact of fresh legs there, though. Nick James, the first one to kind of set in motion the series of press for Call Valley FC there. He has the initial confrontation. Miguel Yuste comes over from the weak side, and he applies the pressure. And it's just not so easy to play the ball out of the back, to play into midfield, to play through midfield for St. Louis there, and you win yourself a throw-in in a dangerous part of the field.
And a takedown and a whistle. Here we go. Keep count, everybody. Tied at 11 on the foul board. It's 22 total in this game. And, I mean, St. Louis didn't want to be behind by one. It's the most fouls you've ever seen in one soccer match. And are we getting there?
I couldn't give you a number, but I would tell you that a team in England called Stoke City probably would have been involved in the days of Tony Pulis, the most archaic and old-style soccer manager you ever seen.
Yuste sends one in front. A chance now for Call Valley. Durbin turns left. And that might just be, nope, going to be last touch by Call Valley FC. I thought for a minute we might have our first corner kick of the night for the home team. But instead it goes out of bounds off the foot of Durbin. And we've seen him on that left side, Andy, a couple of times, and Alex just doesn't look quite as comfortable over there.
Yeah, he's just kind of running the channels, trying to find where that space is going to be. Obviously, I think you'd probably want to see him doing that on the right side, but it's pretty clear. After 45 full minutes and now the first 5 of the second half, kind of shading towards the left, the Kaw Valley FC, Istvan Urbani identified something on that right side of defense for St. Louis that they're going to try and exploit.
A chance here now, Durbin on the right side. From the corner, tries to tap it in. Ustay gets there, but it's knocked away. And he's sliding. Durbin can't quite get there, and that ball will go back to St. Louis. More bodies down. As we enter the 51st minute. And this one will stay with Kaw Valley FC, so an inbound coming from Ryan Kellogg. Kellogg keeps it alive. Durbin has that one kicked away, but he touched it last. Now the pace of play here has suddenly come to a grinding halt, so to speak. Still 1-1. A tie game at Rock Chalk Park. St. Louis and Kaw Valley. And Cranes can really put some distance between themselves and the lines with a victory tonight. Trailed 1-0 for more than 30 minutes. Then got the equalizer, and that's either another foul or it's going to be a handball. Because when Vadim Kochakov went down, he grabbed the ball, and that whistle didn't come out till after he picked it up. I think he was begging for the call quite a bit. Just the briefest of moments of mental lapses that we're seeing from St. Louis. You know, the goal obviously for Kaw Valley FC right there, expecting to get that call. I know there's been a lot of calls fouled, and so you think the referee's going to be a little bit quicker with the whistle, but you give up the ball in a very dangerous part of the field, and you get nothing out of it. Chance for a run out there, but it's batted away. Nick James running down the sideline.
It's a really important sliding tackle right there just to get that ball out of play, get into that passing lane, because if Ellis Ashworth doesn't get to that, Nick James is running into acres of space. There's nobody back there. He's got Alex Durbin through the middle. Tucker Stevenson going to be making that run towards the back post. That is a very, very good opportunity to create a scoring chance. You know, that's the kind of play that won't ever go down in any kind of scorebook, but your coach is going to recognize it, and it's going to make a big difference in the outcome of the game.
And a late whistle here as Urbani kind of looked up. He asked for one and then finally got the whistle. So the last couple of whistles have been a little bit late. And the tally board. How many of those lights have been used that far down on the scoreboard? We've got 25 fouls so far tonight. And a long way to go. James with it. Taps it into the corner. Stevenson trying to keep it in, and he's the last one to touch it.
Still a smart, heady play there, though. Touch it out for the throw-in. You don't let them have the goal kick. At least you keep it down there in the corner. You keep that pressure on, and they really are starting to kind of push numbers a little bit further forward, get a little bit more advanced with where they start that line of confrontation.
If you're watching this at home tonight, it's a super busy night at Rock Chalk Park. The old Relay for Life going on behind us on the track and field here at West Lawrence. A lot of folks wandering around. Perfect evening. Again, we've had 3 straight of these for the most part, and bodies flying right in midfield. And who took the fall? Logan Lucas was in there, and man, nobody's happy tonight. Josh Baker doing a little talking. I don't know that anybody touched the ball here. And, well, I'm Josh Baker. I might have done a little barking too.
Yeah, I'm a little at loss for words why that's not a yellow card right there.
Lucas a little out of control.
Yeah,
right?
and there's no intention whatsoever to actually try to play the ball. It's all about getting as much of the opposition player as possible. Very reckless and out of control. Sign of frustration, that's for sure.
Durbin with some space now. Has a real opportunity. Here's Alex Durbin into the center. Yuste was there, but it's tapped away. One of the best chances we've seen of the night for Kaw Valley FC. Maybe a better one here. That ball kept alive momentarily, and a late whistle and another yellow card. And that one on a very angry Nick James. And that was obviously for his reaction after the whistle. He apparently got a piece of the ball according to him. It's what now, 3 yellow cards on Kaw Valley FC tonight. Tucker Stevenson picks one up. Nick James now with one. Was it Miguel Yuste that had one earlier too? And here's the replay.
Yeah, you get Alex Durbin in that kind of position. He's got his body, I think, shaped to take the shot with his right foot. He's a little bit further down the line than the ball is. I think he can put his right foot through that and try and wrap it inside the far post the way that Tucker Stevenson did the equalizing goal in the first half. I think that opportunity is there. You want your center forward, your goal scorer, to be a little bit selfish. It's not a bad thing. You want him when he's got an opportunity to take that and to not always pass it up and defer to someone else. Obviously, the cross cut out there. And then I think just a little frustration from Nick James there. He came in a little bit wild, but fully committed once again to trying to win a 50-50 ball. He's a little bit high. I think he got the boot a little bit up on the leg of the player.
Yuste getting pushed around outside there and was the last one to touch that one. A little extracurricular, but no whistle this time, but another forward opportunity for the Cranes. 57th minute now. It's still 1-1. Both goals coming in the first half. I believe it's also Bark in the Park night tonight as Andy saying hello to another visitor there behind us. 4-legged furry visitor.
I am very popular tonight, making all
right.
sorts of friends.
And back comes St. Louis. Evan Garcia. With a touch out wide to the right side. Now back to the middle. Quick cross. Justin Stinson. He puts a foot on it, and that one a little high. And out of play. But Vadim Kochakov, glad his team showing some life on offense. Only 3 shots on goal in this game. Officially, no saves for Santiago Restrepo, though. Just one on the other end for Patrick Irankunda. Feel like we've had more action, though, towards the nets than what those goals. And this one, is it onside? The answer is yes. Nick James out wide, sends one into the middle, and a streaking Tucker Stevenson had a chance for a moment but couldn't quite get there.
I love that ball from Nick James right there. Take it quick, take it early. You don't give the center backs time to communicate who's got who's got the runner, who's got near post, back post, wherever Alex Durbin is going to be. You play it first time, it is so much more dangerous.
Kaw Valley on the attack again. Logan Lucas fires almost on the ground with the right foot, and that one stopped by Irankunda.
I'm not so sure Logan Lucas could not have gotten a penalty there if he goes down. Credit to him staying on his feet, trying to finish the chance out himself, but I think if he goes down, it's probably called.
Long ball here, St. Louis, and that one tapped away. Kochakov. Or was that McCruden down there? Nope, that was Kochakov. Had just a sliver of space. And then a nice job by Kozma, the right foot there. And not only did he defend it, but then he had to go out of bounds off of Kochakov. So a kick here from the goalkeeper to get us back in play. About to start the 60th minute. Still tied at 1. Neither team able to put a tally on the board here in the second half. And that tap from Kochakov out of bounds, and he's looking at Baker and the Garcia and hands down like, what are you guys doing? The perfect ball into the corner. And both of you get caught watching. And again, nobody's happy on the pitch tonight. Home, road, down one, tie game.
Grievances were had by all on this evening, that's for sure.
28 fouls and counting. We've only got 30 minutes left. Maybe 35. And who touched that one last? Was it Alex Durbin? Or is it finally a corner kick for Call Valley FC? Took us 60 minutes to get here, but finally an opportunity from the corner.
Now you want to make the most of it. You don't want to walk everybody up there, get those center backs forward, force them to sprint 50, 60 yards back to get in position defensively for a poor service into the box. So whether it's going to be Tucker Stevenson or Miguel Yuste, both of whom are over there, you want to see a quality ball into the box. You want to make the defenders work. If at all possible, you want to make the goalkeeper work.
And here's Tucker Stevenson, lobs one into the middle, and no Crane can get a head on it. A little long from Stevenson. Instead, that ball is cleared out by St. Louis. Tapped right back in. Can he get it wide enough? Not quite. He had Tucker Stevenson on this far side, but he will not get a chance to touch it. And this one stays in play momentarily and then finally rolls out. Nick James lets it go out of bounds in front of him. And our first substitution coming for St. Louis. And number 25, Dylan Hundelt, he will check out. And in his place is number, I believe, is it 23? That is Savino Livornis from the UK. You get a first look at him. So each team now has used one substitution. Nick James checking in first for Adrian Gutierrez for Caw Valley FC. And now it's Savino Livornis for Dylan Hundel. He was active early. Kind of a hometown kid from the state of Missouri. Playing for the Lions. This is Garcia. Going right at Ryan Kellogg. A little battle in the corner, and that one won momentarily by, how about that? Garcia thought, well, he picked it up. I don't know if he really thought that, but he went over there and picked it up. Meanwhile, Caw Valley FC will get it.
If you pick up the ball with enough confidence, can you fool the goalkeeper? I think that's what Garcia was going for there, although very, very difficult to tell. But solid defending there from Ryan Kellogg, standing up strong in a very tough challenge.
So Kellogg wins that battle, and Restrepo now will get set to send it away. Asking for Ryan Kellogg to come in a little tighter. Fires one high and pretty much right down the middle. And there's going to be another foul. And I believe that was an earned one from Vadim Kochakov as he knocks down Alex Durbin. And there's a yellow card being handed out.
It only took 15 for a little persistent infringement for St. Louis, and that, by the way, puts them 15-14 ahead on the fouls column.
So 4 yellow cards now total in this game. 3 for Caw Valley FC and now 1 handed out to St. Louis. I don't think we saw any the last 2 weeks, did we? Did we talk about that in the first half? This game has been much more physical. And a touch out wide. And guess who's got it? Guess what spot he's got it in? Stevenson on that left side trying to operate with some space. And last touched by, as Stevenson goes down, it's going to be last touched by St. Louis. So it's fun to see 22 get the ball on the left side and work back towards the middle with his right foot.
Yes, it is.
He's just got the bend on it to put it to give himself a little bit more of a good angle into the goal.
Yeah, I love how direct and decisive he is in those moments. It's not stopping to think about it. I've got the ball at my foot. This is where the defender is. Put him under pressure.
Miguel Yuste high, sending it in. Great ball. That one almost sneaks in. Santiago Sierra kept it alive, and that one almost batted back in. What a great save for Aaron Kunda. A couple of chances that time from the Cranes.
Well, that's exactly why you want to get that service as close to the goal as possible, but not in a spot that the goalkeeper can come out and claim it himself. Head it back across the face of goal, give someone an opportunity. All it needs is a touch at that point. It's a very, very dangerous moment for St. Louis to find themselves in, right through the hands of Irankunda there. Very, very unfortunate that it looks like... looks like Daniel Kozma is not able to get a foot on it. And then the second opportunity finally saved by Irankunda.
Yeah, and Alex Durbin actually got a head on it the second time. Another opportunity here. Stevenson, you betcha. He got another one. And he rips off the shirts, and Caw Valley FC takes the 2-1 lead. What a turnaround in this one tonight.
How many times did I call for the quick counter attack in the first half from Caw Valley FC? Obviously, that's going to be a second yellow there for Tucker Stevenson, taking the shirt off in celebration, just kind of, I think, losing track of the fact that he had already picked up a yellow earlier in the game. But on the positive side, you get out quick on the counter, you get the ball wide. Alex Durbin lucky to not score at the near post, and it falls to Tucker Stevenson. That's why you always have somebody crashing at the back post, but this game just got far more difficult for the final 25 minutes for Caw Valley FC.
Yeah, so 25 minutes left, and this team will have to play a man down. And you mentioned it, Tucker Stevenson, great goal. He's got both tonight, but he loses his mind, and that may cost this team dearly in the next 25 minutes. I mean, that's just a mistake you can't make. And I think that conversation is taking place right now with Ishvan Urbani.
And nobody, by the way, is going to feel worse about that situation than Tucker Stevenson. You can see it on his face there, his body language, a little lip reading there if you want to go for it. He knows that he's let his team down and made things more difficult for the 10 guys out there on the field, the next sub or two that will come into this game. But the momentum clearly has swung in favor of Caw Valley FC. Now 6 shots on target for them, still just the one from St. Louis all the way back in the 16th minute. They've done a great job, especially in the second half, the first 20 minutes, taking control of this game, limiting the opportunities into not dangerous areas. All the way out wide is where everything that St. Louis has had, and so they're not into the middle third of the field. Centrally, they're just not putting the same kind of pressure on Caw Valley FC. That should change, though, and we should probably see a corresponding substitution to get a little bit more midfield, I think, presence, and maybe another wide defender out there on the field.
So the strategy quickly changes for Ishvan Urbani's team. The celebration, it was short-lived, wasn't it? Quickly you go from up 2-1, feeling good, to, oh man, now we got to find a way to hang on, and maybe the first mistake coming. The lead may not last long. A great save from Restrepo. Josh Baker gets a foot on it. And Restrepo may be busy over the next 25 minutes. I would expect St. Louis to be very offensive-minded. Not just because the Lions are down a goal, but because now they've got the man advantage. How does that red card affect now also Tucker Stevenson in the next game?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. He's clearly been the best player for this team over the first handful of games, the 3 that we've been here at Rock Chalk Park to see. He's got 4 goals of what, 5 that they've scored in those 3 games. Far and away the best attacking player and probably the best player on the team so far. You hate to see a moment like that, come back to bite a young player. But at the end of the day, it's very well known. You take your shirt off when in celebrating, it's going to be a yellow card every single time. You've got to be aware. You've got to know the situation of the game state, and especially second half. You've just taken the lead. You've overcome a deficit. You've worked so hard individually and as a unit, as 11 guys out there on the field, and it just gets so much more difficult now.
There's a foul on Santiago Sierra, which will set this opportunity up for Justin Stinson. Caw Valley FC trying to set the wall up. We'll see if Stinson goes right at it. Keep an eye on number 9, Sodal there, and he'll get no chance at it. And the kids go wild on another high shot.
And it is, by the way, one final word on Tucker Stevenson. It is a learning opportunity as well. You know, the Premier Development League, that is what these players are here to do, to get minutes, to develop as players and as people as well. And that's something that conversation already with Ishvan Urbani have been had. I imagine there will be another conversation that will come after the game, or maybe over the rest of the weekend in training as they get towards next week. But he should learn from that and learn just a little bit more, I think, of the composure that's so important in the game. If you have aspirations and you have the opportunity to go and play at a higher level, you can get away with that at this level, and the consequences are very, very minimal. But you get an opportunity to play at the USL level, the MLS level, and anything on beyond that, and you do that, the consequences are severe, and it's looked down upon so much more harshly, and you really, really let your team down at that point. So Tucker Stevenson, 2 great goals again tonight. Got to learn from that moment.
Outside of the goal that we saw in the first 11 seconds we were ever on the air with Caw Valley FC, all the scoring has come from him, right? I think you just said that, 4 of the 5. Trying to go back, I think he scored in every match that we've done, and he scored twice tonight, so that would equal 4. And what Miguel Yuste scored the very first. But it's been all Tucker Stevenson since then. More on the attack, this one in front. A big chance here for the Lions. That went off the foot of Kochikov. It's knocked away, and we should see a lot of this tonight. There's a race for the ball. Nick James after it. Can he get there in time? No. You know, a little extra effort like that, you get a foot on it, and maybe you milk away another 30 seconds, right? And that could be the difference in this contest tonight.
Nick James made that a lot closer to keeping it in than it should have been. I'll say that.
I wouldn't want to race him in the 40. I can tell you that right now, because he just took off on one.
Not now, not 10 years ago either.
Sarah back to corral it for the Cranes. And another long ball, and I think we'll see a lot of those in the next 20 minutes. Yeah. Amazing how the strategy changes, isn't it?
Yeah, not really with a target in mind, hitting those, just kind of relieving the pressure, giving guys a couple quick 3-4 seconds to catch their breath, resituate themselves, and maybe you get an opportunity for Nick James to kind of leak out there and get onto that one wide, and you have a counter opportunity. But first and foremost, first, second, third, fourth, fifth on the priority list right now is going to be that defensive solidity.
And another substitution coming into the game. It looks like Jordan Watson will check in for Vadim Kochikov. So Kochikov out, and another kid from the UK. It's number 34, Jordan Watson. When would you expect to see Caw Valley FC coach Urbani maybe go to some fresh legs?
Less than 20 minutes ago of regular time, I would imagine around the 75th minute. Actually, it looks like the fourth official might be getting the board ready for another one here shortly. Yeah, you're going to want to get, I think, some fresh legs into the midfield first and foremost, and then probably another wide player. John Leisman, I think we've seen come off the bench both games here at Rock Chalk Park. I'd imagine fresh legs. Maybe you slide Nick James, who is listed as a defender on the roster, back into that right back spot for Ryan Kellogg, and then you get Leisman out wide, and you've got a ton of fresh legs on the right side. You're not going to get hit on the counter that way.
Miguel Yuste going 1-on-2. He kept it alive for a little while. And then a quick foul's called on Yuste. "34 fouls called tonight. Players have only admitted 3.
That might be generous.
Maybe less is what you're telling me. I should have said let's set the over-under at 3 on the instant response of the player that committed the foul. And that another, what, huh, me? What did I do?
You can ask any player in the world. He's never committed a foul.
NBA playoffs, very similar. Here's Nick James again with the cross. Really good ball, Nick Durbin. There goes Alex Durbin. But a long cross, Sodal tries to keep it in. Sierra knocks it away. Durbin and chase again. And can he get a foot on it? Awfully close, but again, valuable seconds here running off the clock. And this team hang on for, I'm guessing, another 20 or so minutes. Seems like such a long time. Caw Valley FC on top. It's 2-1. Both goals by Tucker Stevenson, if you're just joining us. Stevenson, though, is gone. He picked up his second yellow card after ripping off his jersey, scoring that second goal. And here's some fresh legs. There's a cross. Batted away. Jordan Watson. He'll head to the corner now.
Yeah, I can see down there to the fourth official. It looks like the number on the board coming on for Call Valley FC will be number 7. It'll be John Leisman. I would be almost shocked at this point if it's not Ryan Kellogg coming off.
And a center here. And a second chance. Josh Baker controls it. Shoots wide. That one, though, however, did touch a Call Valley FC player. So another corner kick coming, and in a hurry now it's St. Louis. No surprise there. Long ball. Sadal is there. Got a head on it momentarily, and now it's cleared out. Going to be another foul on the Lions.
Yeah, you saw a very similar situation to the quick free kick, quick corner kick attempted to be taken there by St. Louis that we saw in the first half, but the difference in the awareness of the defending teams, Call Valley FC, everybody advancing forward realized the call of the referee, and everybody gets back quickly.
In soccer, when the whistle blows, play does not stop. And here's that substitution that you were talking about. It looks like Miguel Eustace coming off the field. And who did you say was checking in?
It's going to be John Leisman.
It is Leisman. He's been one of the first guys we've seen into the game every week.
Absolutely, and he'll take up a wide position and offer a little bit more support defensively. Nick James on one side helping out Ryan Kellogg. It looks like Leisman's going to go over to the left side, and he'll play a little bit more in front of Jack Freeman and just offer some fresh legs and try and help and see this things out. You don't have to put in pretty defensive work at this point of the game. You've just got to put in the effort. You've got to hurry guys. You've got to put them under pressure and see this game out.
You know, Christopher Bond, you can't really clear it out there. Just kind of bunts it sideways. So a throw-in coming for the Lions. The Cranes can add 3 points tonight, jump their total to 10. Firmly in third place as the weekend began in the Heartland Division. And that ball kicked out of there by Captain Jack Freeman. And the Lions once again on the attack, trailing 2-1. That cross attempt, batted out of play. Defended nicely. And another set play, though, and several more chances now coming from St. Louis, and that's to be expected. Cranes playing down a man. It's 11 on 10. Into the center, got a head on it. That was pretty clean. That was Ellis Ashworth, number 21. A long run for him, and another substitution coming for the visitors. Connor Riley is going to check in for Evan Garcia. So maybe ramen noodle time for Garcia. Who knows? That little tidbit you read, Andy, that just might have been a joke by one of his teammates.
And here I was thinking that was going to be a throwaway line.
Oh, it's a throwaway line.
While we were talking and pregame and everything.
And we've seen this, I think, the last 2 weeks. It's been so hot. First time we see someone cramping up. We saw Ali Sodalgo down here. It's time for a water break. And I mean, there's no timeouts inside. There's no chance to get water once you start playing. And you go 45 minutes hard, you take a break, and now we're in minute number 78, and you've had only one chance to get water. That was at halftime, so they'll give the guys here just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, it makes all the sense in the world if you can get major European leagues like the Premier League and the Bundesliga and La Liga in Spain, if they're going to abide by, you've got a certain combination with what's known as the wet bulb reading, combination of temperature and humidity. If it gets above a certain level, then you're going to have the mandatory automatic about 25-30 minutes into each half. Player safety has to be first and foremost in the minds of every referee for every game that has ever played anywhere in the world, and it's nice to see that even trickling down, no pun intended, to this level in PDL.
For all of us that live in the Midwest, the phrase heat indices, very well known. The heat index gets well over 100 in these parts very easily this time of the year, and we've had, as everyone knows, enormously hot temperatures for this time of the year. I mean, it gets warm in June, but this early in June and late May, it's been mid-90s a lot, and the heat index has been over triple digits easily. And it was warm earlier today, and if you thought it was hot today, just wait till Saturday and Sunday, y'all. It's supposed to be 97, 98. Saw one reading, so we might get to triple digits by Sunday.
That's not for me.
And that's when this team plays again over on the turf in Topeka. I'll ask our our crew, maybe Jordan Bass, can get us a carpet temperature check on Sunday that he can relay back, because it could easily get to 115, 120 maybe over there in a couple of days.
I'm going to need him holding one of the big giant thermostats all down to the ground and wiping the sweat off of his forehead. That's for sure.
Man. Closing in on minute number 80. So far, the Cranes have been able to wipe out 13 minutes, a man down. Nick James in pursuit, and he wins that ball in the corner. Takes it away from Connor Eiley. And then eventually, the Lions get it back. And now on the run, that's Watson. Bringing it up the side. Back to Vadim Kochikov.
Great communication right there. Couple of defenders right here. Somebody's got to go out wide and has to take up the first man that's got the ball. Points, communicates. You've got the runner. I'm vacating the space. I need you to come rotate in and fill it. That's exactly how you're supposed to defend a transition in that point of the field, especially in this part of the game.
Here's Watson again with it on the left side. With some space, as you would expect. Fires a shot right off the grill of Christoph Urbanian, and then a nice job by Restrepo to control it inside the box. As we close out minute 81, just start counting these things down, Andy. 9+ to go for the Cranes to pick up a second victory here at home and try to end this two-match losing skid.
If Coach Istvan had any questions about whether son Christoph was as tough as he was as they play, I think he got his answer on that. I mean, that was absolutely hammered by Watson from close range and probably heading on target as well. So vitally important that Christoph Urbani gets himself in the way of that shot and is able to, again, this phrase that we keep using, relieve the pressure for Call Valley FC.
He's going to wake up with a circular mark on his body somewhere tomorrow.
I didn't see him flinch, though.
No, he didn't. Watson controls again. Little give and go around James, the left foot. Little trouble there for the Cranes, trying to get it out of there, and finally they do. Ryan Kellogg with a nice header. This one on goal from long range. A chance for the Lions is stopped by Santiago Restrepo. It was Greg McCrudden that got a foot on it. From Culver Stockton College via Scotland. And another foul. And this one will be on. It'll be on the Lions. Ellis Ashworth, and he just pick up a yellow.
He's a repeat offender tonight. That's for, as most everybody out there on the field is. But
hard not to be by now, right?
Yeah, of course. You know, when Tucker Stevenson got that red card, about 25 minutes to go in this game, you had to imagine 3, maybe 4 really good chances for St. Louis. You're going to have to deal with, and you're going to have to see them out. And I think 2 of them have already come and went. They've had a couple forays deep into the attacking third, crosses into the box, and Call Valley FC just able to deal with it and clear it out of there. So you would imagine you're about halfway through the woods at this point. You get some more fresh legs on. Now you've got an outlet for those long balls. Eric McWood's coming into the game. You can hit those long balls into the channel, and maybe you get something out of nothing. You don't really have to work to build up an opportunity, a scoring chance like that.
So Alex Durbin, he goes down there with some cramping. He'll check out quickly. Eric McWood's now super fresh. He'll check in. We saw him start the last 2 weeks here on Friday nights. Watson getting mixed up here right in front of us. And another whistle. Why not? Rack him up.
40 is within reach.
It is. And well, some good sportsmanship there from James as he goes over and gives Watson a low 5. I'm not sure if that was made up for it or not, but another chance here. Lions send it in high in the middle. That one wide. Restrepo right there on the post. And another minute wiped off the clock. We head into minute number 85. Call Valley on top. It's 2-1. Lions led this thing after 16 minutes thanks to a goal from Ali Sodal in the 16th minute. It was 1-0. Then back-to-back goals. Tucker Stevenson in the about the 46th, 47th minute. Then again in the 67th minute. Unfortunately, he is no longer a factor in this game. There's McWoods. You can see that plastic cast, so to speak, on his right arm. But he looks fresh. And that's really the most important thing right now. Good news is it's not a brace on his ankle. And that would be a problem.
Absolutely. And that play right there from Eric McWoods, huge. It might not look like anything, but you get the ball down into the corner. 10 seconds come off in the process of doing that, and then you've got to throw in, and now you've still got the ball down there, and the clock is just ticking and ticking and ticking. A full minute has gone by from when Santiago Restrepo, walked back in and placed the ball in his goal line to take the goal kick. Now a minute 10 has ticked off the clock. That is how you bleed the clock, and you see a game out, and you get it to 90, and you get through stoppage time when you've got a 2-1 lead.
And the Lions right now a long way from the goal that they need to score in. And Watson, man, since he's come in, he's been super active. Right in front of us, and he's going to get another whistle. Going to be a trip, so to speak. Logan Lucas knocking down Watson, and you hate to see a free kick from this area. Another penalty or another foul. You said dangerously close to 40.
Logan Lucas lucky to still be on the field now. If you remember earlier in the game, the player who made no attempt whatsoever to play the ball and essentially threw his body into the opponent probably should have been yellow carded in that situation, that instance, and now here again would have been his second as well. So a bit of fortune.
Lions with a chance in front. Restrepo luckily right at him. High for the save, and this game stays 2-1. You feel like Crane's just hanging on here.
An opportunity for Santiago Restrepo to showcase his time-wasting skill. Another 12 seconds there between the time he catches the ball and picks himself up very slowly.
How long do you hang on to it until you get a yellow?
Yeah. You hang on until
you get the yellow.
Until
right?
you do, yes.
Yeah. Well, as we mentioned earlier in this telecast, the St. Louis team racked up 6 yellow cards in the first game, and I don't think there's any question the Cranes remembered that. An attack here from the Lions. Restrepo there again. Santiago Restrepo making a name for himself tonight. Another save keeps his team in front, still 2-1.
Yeah, this is a really strong performance the last few minutes from Santiago Restrepo. He's not dealt with a ton of difficult shots to save, but a number of balls into the box, into dangerous areas where the slightest mistake ends up a tap-in opportunity for the St. Louis Lions, and he has not put one foot or one finger wrong in the last few minutes. 3 more minutes of regular time, and then I'd imagine 4, maybe 5 of stoppage. He's going to have to continue to put in a shift like that.
More attacking from the Lions. Slips one through. Restrepo a couple steps out. Keeps it away from the Lions momentarily as Kochakov sneaking in again. We've seen him close in there a couple of times in the last 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah, that one was a little bit more ropey than the last couple. Maybe a bit of miscommunication from the defenders, and Restrepo behind him. Kochakov, as you said, sneaking in, the perfect phrase. He was making the 100% effort to get in there and get on the end of that one, but Restrepo quick off his line, quick to handle.
Again, Watson on the run ahead of James, and James takes him down, luckily outside the box. That was really close.
Just outside the box. But you can see the quick change of pace from Watson there and the explosion, the acceleration to get past Nick James rather easily. And James, remember, fresh legs. We saw how quick he is down here on the other end of the field as he chased out an outlet ball. And that is some really, really good direct attacking play from Watson. And now such a dangerous moment. Talked about Restrepo. This is his moment here.
Fires one in, and it's poked out of there. Who got the head on it? And an injured Caw Valley player is down. That's Ryan Kellogg. And I believe, is that Savino Livernice that got the head on it? Because I think a Lion is the one that actually touched it and I'm not sure exactly what happened here to Kellogg. Did he hit the post by chance?
Yeah, there were a couple guys that were crashing in real hard at the near post. He looks to be holding something on his right side, and I mean, you know, he gave his body up in that situation, and I know he didn't get his head to it, but he put a little bit of pressure, makes it a little bit different chance, a little bit more difficult for St. Louis to, you know, smaller window to put that header into the ball into the box. So I mean, at this point of the game, you're doing just whatever you can, whatever you have to hold on to that 2-1 lead.
Bodies crashing right in front of the net, and hard to see exactly what happened from that angle as it's on the far right side of your monitor. We'll see if Kellogg can go or not, or Coach Urbani asking, hey, do we need somebody else in there? Will he be okay? And see how much stoppage time gets added on. Clock stops at 90. And Andy, I'm expecting several minutes on this one.
Yeah, if it's not 4 or more, referee's not really doing his job tonight.
And he's been working overtime. Trust me.
He is. Here's
McWoods taking it to the corner. And it looks like a 5 is on the board down there. They haven't raised it yet, but unless he's got the board up backwards, the only chance it's a 2, but I don't think that's going to happen. It is indeed 5. 5 bonus minutes of soccer for us tonight. I'm sure that Cal Valley FC would have appreciated 4, but they're not going to get it. And we'll see if this team can hang on for just a few more minutes. Kellogg back into the game. That's the good news for the Cranes, who lead at 2-1 and have fended off the St. Louis Lions now for 23-plus minutes, a man down.
Yeah, and hugely important, by the way, that Kellogg able to come back into this game, having already made all 3 subs. Cal Valley FC would have been then trying to see the game out the final 5 or 6 minutes with 9 men on the field. Obviously, far more difficult than 11, far more difficult than 10.
And maybe a little offense here from the Cranes. Fancy footwork from Logan Lucas. Trying to tap it back and, one step away. And you see Coach Urbani so happy he's laughing now because that was a perfect play set up for Cal Valley FC. And now the counterattack coming for St. Louis. Another takedown, another whistle. Number 41. And here's the reaction from head coach Ishvan Urbani. It was a good one. He turned with a full kick, thought he had a chance, and all right there. We got him on camera. Love it. And then the big smile afterwards. But, man, what a chance. And even everyone in the dugout, so to speak, down there, they're laughing too.
That's you didn't see that little wry smile on the side.
If you've never gotten the chance to meet Ishvan Urbani, if you get a chance to see him around town, go introduce yourself. He was a great guy to talk to. Great stories, so much soccer history. Here's a blast. The wall gets there. It's tapped out, and see another minute or so off the clock. And good news, maybe more cramping now from Cal Valley FC. And somebody not very happy down here. I think they're trying to get the timing on the watches correct. And that's going to be more added time now. That's what they're doing, looking down and saying, all right, fake cramping now and extra time, let's go. St. Louis, a man advantage. Has certainly had plenty of opportunities here in the second half. 6 shots on goal for Cal Valley FC, 5 now for St. Louis. Man, it sure has seemed like more. We've got 6 corner kicks, a lot of action here in the second half, Andy, that we did not have in the first half.
Yeah, 4 of those 5 shots on target for St. Louis in the last 15 or so minutes. Obviously, since Cal Valley FC went a man down, they have been under pressure. They've been under siege at times. They've been able to bleed the clock just a little bit to get the ball down to the other end of the field, but it's been a strong performance the last 10 minutes or so from Santiago Restrepo, making a couple of saves, making 4 saves, and then coming out to claim crosses into the box, high floaters on corner kicks and free kicks. He has been a beast, a rock back there for his defenders, and if not for him, there's a good chance that this game is 2-2 right now.
Well, a long ball down into the corner for the Lions. Looking for an opening. Looking for an opening. Battle for the ball. That one's fired out of there by Logan Lucas.
That's going to be a dive there. And I completely agree with the referee there. Clearly looking for the call, clearly looking for the penalty. Christopher Bonney, who just picked up a yellow card a couple minutes ago for booting the ball upfield out of frustration. I mean, yeah, referee's got to make that call there. He's got to make that call.
So if you added 20 seconds for the cramp, you subtract 20 for the fall?
Yeah,
something like that.
I take that back. I thought I saw him making the motion with his hands like he dove, but he's going to give the free kick just outside the box.
Here it is. A blast in the middle. A lot of bodies out there. Eric McWoods tries to clear, and here comes Call Valley FC. McWoods has got some fresh legs. Nick James there with him. And a nice tackle right in midfield from the Lions, but that's going to be Call Valley FC ball. And now we're getting close to the end of this one. And there it is. This game is over. A huge win for head coach Ishvan Urbani and the Call Valley FC Cranes. Final score of 2-1, and this team hangs on after falling behind 1-0. Scoring 2 goals from Tucker Stevenson. I promise you, the happiest guy in the building is number 22. He gets a red card, rips off his shirt after the second goal, but his mate's able to hang on for an additional 28 minutes.
Post-game popsicles on Tucker Stevenson tonight as a thank you for every player on the field, as an apology to every player on the field in the dugout. As you say, nobody will be more happy and thankful to see the 3 points realized than Tucker Stevenson. Obviously would not have happened without his 2 goals. The gaff in picking up that second yellow card for taking his shirt off in the celebration of the second. But the first thing we talked about tonight was bouncing back from a couple of losses last week against Des Moines and against Chicago. And not only did they have to bounce back from that, they had to bounce back from an early deficit as well, going down inside the first 20 minutes of this game. But they did not lose focus. They did not lose direction in this game. And the full commitment, once they found their footing, once they got themselves into this game, was there from Call Valley FC. It looked very familiar to what we saw the first couple games here at Rock Chalk Park, and they are fully deserving based on the final 60 minutes and especially the final 45 minutes of the 3 points here tonight.
Kid from Overland Park, Kansas does it again. Tucker Stevenson with not 1 but 2 goals, and the Cranes needed both. Final score tonight from Rock Chalk Park. Call Valley FC Cranes knock off the St. Louis Lions 2-1. Let's take a quick time out. We'll be back to Rock Chalk Park after this. Time to get out of here. Caw Valley FC picks up the 2-1 win in Rock-Chalk Park, a big win that snaps a two-match losing skid for head coach Ishvan Urbani's team, and it happens in dramatic fashion. Best match I think we've seen by far in the three that we've done this season, Mr. Edwards. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from this one. A happy Ishvan. We didn't see that guy last week after the game. Totally different coach than he was a week ago. But let's take a look at some of the highlights from this first half, and man, it did not look good early. As we mentioned, the Lions score first. Elise O'Donnell in the 16th minute. Tucker Stevenson then evens things up, and then this is second half action. You get a chance there for Caw Valley FC, and then a tap-away chance there for the Lions, and bang, the big goal. Then the decision you wish you could take back. You rip the jersey off, and you're gone. Red card right after that. It was the second yellow of the game for who's been the MVP of the season all year long, and Tucker Stevenson, and then this guy took over. Santiago Restrepo with several saves down the stretch, and then the double fist pump from the head coach, Ishvan Urbani, and this team improves its record to 3-3-1, 10 points now on the season. That's a 6-point lead now on the St. Louis Lions. So still in third place, the Cranes hanging tough depending on what happens around the Midwest and other games tonight. Take a look now at our Pods Discount Carpets post-game stats, and this sport looks quite a bit different than it did at halftime. A lot of action, Andy, as we finish this thing up, because we did not see this in the first half. But then, of course, we can laugh at the final number because it looks like it's field goal percentages or something that should be in a different sport.
Yeah, a couple of